Hello there, how you doing? Jeff D, AIMCBizSolutions.com for our weekly marketing tip for your small businesses out there, as well as solopreneurs, even corporate Fortune 500 companies. So we are closing in on 2022 and we're going into 2023. And one of the top questions I always get is, hey, what should be my marketing strategy? What trends are there out there going into the new year, 2023? And how do I take my business to the next level? Whether it's a side hustle, your main business, or even a corporation. And I always think it comes back to these three concepts that I'll go over with you today. So, I've posted a few tips in the past couple of weeks, on our social media pages for AMC Biz Solutions about getting your business plan in place, understanding your customer, your demographics, and all. But it's going to come down to these three things, and these pretty much apply almost all the time, not necessarily going into 2023. But the personalization, the relationships between you and your customers and potential customers is key. And let's say that. So I'm going to lead with the first one, the customer experience. Of course, whenever you go to a restaurant and you notice the wait staff's really nice, or the chef comes out, says, "How's your dinner?" They're very friendly about it and sincere. You always seem to remember that whenever you go to a restaurant. And I'm talking about customer experience. And I know they're big companies, but we have a Home Depot and a Lowe's, within a mile of each other here where I live. And I always say, when I go to Home Depot, it seems like, not to pick on them, but sometimes the employees go the other way. Or it's like you ask them a question, it seems like they bother you. You're bothering them or something. But then you go to like Lowe's or somewhere else, and they, "Hey, how you doing, sir? Hi, Jeff." Even better. And they're a lot more helpful. So if you ever go to a store, even I know it's brick and mortar, or your customer experience is so key, because if somebody's nice and sincere to you and helpful, you're going to remember that. And as a business, remember, if I have a great experience at your company or your restaurant or your accounting office, wherever it is, I'm going to tell my friends. I'm going to tell my network. So a positive experience and being very efficient in getting whatever, delivering what you need to deliver is really key. And you're thinking, Jeff, is that really marketing? Of course it is, because the whole idea about marketing is to attract the right customer, the customers that are going to buy from you. So if you're positive and efficient, they're gonna come back and they're gonna tell their friends. And the next one, speaking of engagement, how about your employees? And a lot of companies don't do this. Especially your employees. Your employees in general are the human face of your business, especially if it's a brick and mortar business. Especially if it's even the chats that you have, the bots when you do customer service on a website. Your employee engagement is really, really key. It comes down to this, right? Your employees, if they're not happy, and you see this a lot, you go into a store and the person just looks miserable, absolutely miserable. You're like, oh, is this really a good place to buy from? Or if they're really happy, they're really passionate about the company and what your product or service is, you're going to remember that. And it goes back to the customer experience, right? If your employees are happy, the customer is happy. And also, your employees should be your own cheerleaders and promoters of your company. I'm gonna put my social media hat on a little bit here, and your employees, encourage your employees to post positive posts about what's going on at your company. Imagine that. Imagine if you're a 500 person company, say 500 people on average, and somebody you have a social media post, a content that you're posting, and your employees share and provide their own content, or their own perspective about that product, that content, where it is. That's extremely positive, powerful. It's powerful as heck, right? So if your employees are happy and passionate about what you're doing, they're going to engage. They're going to engage with customers. They're going to be your own salespeople, right? And you're going to get really successful. So customer experience, employee engagement. And then last but not least, this is more your your website, social media pages, everything that you use online to promote, help reach the demographics of your business, right? Is content visualization. Big word, right? Visual content. There's nothing like visual content on your website and social media pages. It beats text every single day. So if you have some great visual effects, and I'm not talking about flash or anything that you hate these pop-up windows. You go to a website and pop-ups happen everywhere. Get away from that. It's got to be clean, right? But if you have clean visual content and the use of video, that's going to go a lot further in 2023 for your marketing strategy. Because again, a video, like I'm doing this video here to you, you're seeing me. I'm a real person. I'm not some bot, some robot, or whatever, giving you some marketing tips today. So from an AIMC Biz Solutions perspective, you're like, oh wow, Jeff's a real person. Same thing here. So you have this personalization with your customers, even if it's your website, even if you have like a live feed on YouTube or Facebook or other tools out there. It's awesome. That's an awesome concept to have that interaction with your customer. Because again, and I said this a lot, you've heard me say this all year, right? Know, like, trust, and care. All right. So if they know, like, and trust you and they see that you're a person and it's visual, or you present visual content on your website, they're going to, that's a great marketing strategy to attract the right consumer for your product and service. So I hope those help. So the top 3: customer experience, employee engagement, and content visualization. 3 trends going into 2023 that's going to help your business. So if you need help with anything from your website to your marketing strategy, by all means, get in touch with us, amcbizsolutions.com. And I hope you have a happy holidays. And let's be successful together forever and ever. How's that? All right, take care. Have a good day.